Hi, everyone. I'm Angelina Kardash, your host today. I'm a certified functional longevity coach. I'm so excited to introduce you to my dear friend and partner, medical doctor Shahnoz Rustamova. She is not only one of the smartest functional medicine doctors I've ever met, but she has one of the biggest heart. And she gets to the root of what's going on in the body, especially when it comes to cellular health, autoimmunity, hormone optimization, regenerative therapies, and intimate wellness. And she helped thousands of people reclaim their energy and their health. And I'm beyond excited that she's here with me, with us today for that conversation. Welcome, Shahnoz. How are you doing this afternoon?
Hi, Angelina. Thank you so much for having me.
Awesome. And I'm so happy that you are here. And you could be a health professional or just someone who has been on your own healing journey, or maybe you're stuck in your own body, right? So your body is not responding anymore like it was before. And today is special. And this conversation is very special and personal to me because honestly, I wish more people would know about what we're going to talk today because and we're just basically making this happening today. So what we're going to do today, we're going to dive into the science of activation of the two powerful healing systems inside of our body today. All right. So, and when you turn on these two powerful systems naturally, so what's going to happen to your body that you can burn fat, you can boost energy, you can sharpen your brain, you can detox at the cellular level, and you can decrease inflammation, which, as we all know, at the root cause of all your health struggles, right? So if you've been stuck, for instance, you've been struggling with weight gain, weight resistance that doesn't go away, and is maybe with energy crashes. Maybe you have cravings. Maybe you've been feeling that maybe you're aging too fast. So this conversation is for you. And I've personally been there, and I know what it's like to feel like your body just doesn't work for you the way that it was before. And we've been told for years, right? Just eat less and move more. We've all done this, right? But now it's something different. Now we're all here around, just get an Ozempic, right? And here's the thing. I know like everyone wants this magic pill. I understand. Everyone wants quick results. I get that. But let's be real. All of those results come with serious side effects, right? Nausea, fatigue, muscle loss, even vision loss. And do you know that, it's not a permanent solution. Once you stop taking the meds, so your weight coming back. And I was just reading through the clinical trials, and it shocked me because 40% of the weight comes back after people stop taking those medications. And we're talking GLP-1 drugs, okay? Ozempic, Mounjaro, all of those. But there's a good news, and this is why we're here today, because our body is smart. And remember, it remembers how to heal when we give our body what it needs, right? So it knows how to regulate your sense of hunger, to balance your blood sugars, to burn fat. You just need to give your body the right inputs, okay? And this is where the nutrigenomics comes in. It's a powerful science that shows how food and herbs and natural compounds talk to our genes. So then it switches, at flipping, at the cellular level, right? So you can turn on good genes and turn on bad genes. So we're not talking about fighting our body. We're actually talking about working with our body. So what do we do? Okay. So when the real change happens. So over the 50 minutes, what we're going to do today, we're going to talk through how to activate the systems naturally, how to activate the system safely, effectively. So you can activate your body healing mechanisms for weight loss, for energy, and you can slow down your aging clock. So, Shahnoz, let's kick things off, okay? So again, I mean, everyone is talking around about the GLP-1, so, but most people doesn't really understand how it works. So let's break it down. So what exactly is GLP-1? Why it is getting so much attention and the weight loss, and what is the real issue with those medications, right? So what are the side effects, and what are the long-term costs that people really kind of doesn't know about, okay, don't know about. So
Yes, yes. Very good question. And it is important to understand what GLP-1 is before you start taking any actions, which is taking whether agonists or any other products that will stimulate your GLP-1. It is very, very important. And yes, humanity discovered GLP-1 and now acting like it for the second time, we discovered the fire. Oh my God, this is the best, this is the only way, and so forth. And yes, as a clinician, I see a lot of results on the patients, reading all the research on the patients, parameters, vital signs, blood work, those who get on GLP-1 agonists, and looks like it's revolutionary. So, but at the same time, like you said, more research are coming now because the longer you use the drug, the more knowledge you get. Now we're receiving knowledge about side effects, and some of them are very, very serious side effects, and we're going to talk about them later. So what is it that GLP-1 that everybody talks about? Is this something that we never had, and then we discovered this drug, and then we're using it, and our body all of a sudden miraculously responding to it? The answer is no. GLP-1 is something that we do have in our body. And the drug is just simply mimicking what our body produces. So what is it that GLP-1? It's the peptide. Yes, that's a beautiful word that everybody loves now. Yes, it's basically a little portion of protein. That's what peptides are. If you break down the molecule of the protein, the tiny little portion easy can go into the cell, out of the cell, and that's why it is more efficient. So what is better to navigate when you're in traffic? On the motorcycle or on a big truck? So imagine that peptide is just a little motorcycle that can get you anywhere. So that's what GLP-1 stands for, glucagon-like peptide. So what is glucagon? Sugar, glucose, that gets into our body, which is very important component to create energy. Okay, we live off glucose. We have to have glucose in our body, but we do have two mechanisms. The first mechanism is insulin. The second mechanism, hormone, is glucagon. So our body knows how to balance it. It's all about balancing. Too little glucose in your system can throw you into hypoglycemic coma. And by the way, hypoglycemic coma, which is low glucose, much more dangerous than hyperglycemic coma. So you don't want to be in that state. You don't want to be in the coma, period. So glucagon helps to prevent that. Insulin helps to increase it and bring the glucose into the cell. It's also a transporting system. So those two have to work and dance together in a beautiful fashion. And we also have signaling system that responds to this beautiful dance. And this is how healthy, beautiful body works. That is the physiology. Okay? As we grow older, as we get exposed to all the toxins, as we start aging, we start collecting certain products, waste products, called oxidative stress. And that affect ability, those little antennas that read glucagon and insulin, they become less sensitive, less sensitive, less sensitive, less sensitive. This is what we call it, what? Insulin resistance or insensitivity. And as a result, your body starts producing other hormones like to compensate, okay, like cortisol or something else. And this is when you start gaining weight. So that is the physiology on a nutshell, how we grow older, how we age, inflammation, how we develop disease, and how we gain weight. Okay, so GLP-1 is one of the important components that is absolutely necessary for our body. Absolutely necessary. And again, it's not about weight. GLP-1 is produced in our body to regulate our metabolism, to regulate signaling pathways, to bring inflammation down. That's what GLP-1 peptides do, okay? What agonists do, which is Ozempic or Mounjaro, when you receive it, they It's a synthetic version of it. So instead of your body producing it, you bringing it from the outside. Okay? So it's a foreigner. It's a foreign substance that doesn't have any connections with any other messaging system in the body. For example, your own GLP, it's its own neighborhood. The body knows this neighbor and that neighbor, they communicate and they know how to balance. This guy doesn't speak their language. It just shows up and it starts pounding on your thyroid, pounding on your pancreas, pounding on your other endocrine organs. And yes, as a result, you start losing weight. But it's forceful, it's foreign, and it's not authentic, and it's only isolated, and it's not communicating with the entire body. And as a result, we produce side effects. Okay? One of the side effects, which is the most serious side effect, is thyroid cancer. For the same reason, because if thyroid is nutritionally deprived and it's not balanced, and synthetic agonist is not talking to it, it's just beating it up, as a result, thyroid creates inflammation and cancer. Same thing happens with pancreas. Pancreatitis is one of the very common things, and pancreatic enzymes go up, very, very common complications. Also, GLP-1s, physiologically, GLP-1s, they suppress hunger hormone. They tell your body that enough, we have enough, we don't need more. Okay? So activators, which is synthetic version, do the same thing. And by also paralyzing, it paralyzes your stomach. So it slows down emptying of the stomach. So as a result, one of the side effects, very serious side effects, especially in diabetics, it is gastric paresis. Okay? People feel nausea. Why people feel nauseated? It's because the stomach is not emptying content on time, and it stays there. You see? And as a result, you feel nauseated. In some patients, our patients, they report vomiting, nausea, horrible side effects, and they feel very, very sick for the same reason. So that is, in a nutshell, what GLP-1s do. Yes, they regulate your sugar. Yes, they regulate your hunger. Yes, they regulate production of specific microbiomes that then in turn start to produce substances and compounds like NAD, glutathione, and so by doing so promotes antioxidation, okay, anti-inflammation. So, and also helps to keep your cells healthy, and as a result, your cholesterol goes down, your hormones work better, and so forth. So these are the main physiological action of GLP-1s.
What do you see when a patient that was on Ozempic for the whole year comes to you, right? And let's say that maybe he stopped taking medications or, still on a medication, but he feels absolutely horrible, right? Continue with all the metabolic symptoms and so forth. So what do you really see? What happens, for the patient who's been on the drug, for over the year?
So I have different categories of patients. The first category of patient who, even they have slight side effects, they do not pay attention to it because they take it as a prize to lose weight. So emotionally, they're very, very happy that they finally moved the needle and finally they're 25 pounds lighter, which is a great thing. So they're more confident, their depression goes away, they maybe started dating, they feel great. So that's one category of patients, okay? And a lot of them say, I don't have any side effects, I'm good. But what I notice, they face changes. What I notice, their body changes, the body composition changes. And the reason behind that is that the fat, whether it's a good fat, whether it's a bad fat, the visceral fat, which is the bad fat, goes away, which is great. But you also have another type of fat that you have in between the fibers of your muscle, under the skin, in your face, that gives you that youthful look. That also disappears, including the muscles on your butt. So You could tell if someone was on Ozempic, you could see that the face changes, the butt changes, the muscle, they lose weight. So if you lost weight, 2/3 is the fat and 1/3 is the muscle. So they become thinner, yes, but they also become more frail.
And more fragile, right? Because of the bone density.
Exactly. So that's one category. The person who has no side effects looks great, but at the same time, you could see, you could tell. The second category of patients are the ones who couldn't take it. Like they had side effects, but they had to pull it through. They lost weight, they're happy, and now they stopped. And as soon as they stopped, the cravings came back. According to the studies, they say that it still can be working in your system between 3 to 6 months, which is true. But there are people who, I have a patient, both of us share a patient who, the moment she stops next week, her appetite is back. You see, it tells you that there is something else. There is a disconnect between the agent and the body. Because it's not just close your mouth and don't eat. It's about also changing your microbiome, changing your emotions, changing your mindset. It's a whole thing that leads you to healthy weight loss. And not only in the pounds, but in the size wise. See? So that's another category of patients. And the third category that they went on Ozempic, yes, they're losing weight, but they're puking. They cannot hold anything. And that's the worst category. I tell them to stop immediately because what they not only nutritionally deprived because they're not eating, they draining their body and draining their resources and basically putting themselves in an anorexic state. And sooner or later, we'll have the same disbalances in not only microbiome, but in electrolytes, in the protein, and homeostasis, same disbalance as anorexics, even if they have normal weight. You see? So these are three main categories of patients that I face.
And as a health coach, I see very similar things in my practice. Like when I talk to those clients, and we share several clients that basically they're stop eating, right? So being on those drugs, I mean, they're stop eating. They don't sense the sense of hunger. They don't have that feeling. And basically, and also they don't educate themselves on nutrient density, on nutrition in general. So, I mean, they survive on a piece of cracker, with a cream cheese, whatever is that. So no fiber, nothing. So coffee, that was get them going, right? So, and again, I mean, once they in the process of, taking the drugs or they stop taking the drugs or they completely go through the malnutrition, right? So, and they basically prone to the metabolic disorder and to completely unbalanced gut. So the good things is that today we're talking about something that basically activates in our own body, which is, this hormone GLP-1. So when we give it the right signals, right? So, and as you said, it's produced in our body to regulate metabolism, to reduce inflammation. So instead of kind of forcing our body to take those drugs, right, for all those immediate results that we all want to achieve, right? So we can actually support our body with a system without synthetic meds. So can you tell us what's going to happen when someone starts the product which activates your own GLP-1 production in your body? So walk us through the process. What happens inside of our body?
So instead of receiving ready-to-use GLP-1s, you're receiving a food for your body. Body knows how to heal itself. Body wants to heal itself at all times. Body has ability to heal itself. By bringing that food to that system, you're encouraging it to do so. Okay? So what is natural GLP-1 activators? These are the blends of herbs, vegetables, fruits, natural ingredients that you usually get from food. But unfortunately, in order for you to get that amount, you need to eat a huge amount of that. So now you're getting concentrated version of it instead of eating this much of a eggplant, for example, a big bowl of eggplant, you, let's say, getting everything in one capsule, in one teaspoon. Okay? It's just roughly speaking. So yeah, once it gets into your body, it works on the different levels, just like any healthy food. Okay? Once we put the food inside of the mouth, major enzyme activation happens. Enzymes start to break it down. Once it starts breaking it down, it sends signals to your stomach to produce other enzymes. Then it gets into your stomach. Stomach starts producing, those enzymes, breaking it down, sending signals to specific hormones. Hormones send the specific signals to your microbiome. Microbiome receives the message, starts producing specific elements like NAD and glutathione and all other things to promote. It's a chain. They're talking to each other. That is the difference between synthetic. You see? So by doing so, it gets into your system. It talks to that hormone of hunger saying, we're good, we don't need much. You get that fiber that also gives you satiety, the feeling of satiety. It also tells the insulin, okay, come down, we're all good. The sugar regulation is fine. So we're working on the sugar level. We also, like I said, talking to our microbiome and feeding our good microbes, our good bacteria, and activating specific genes in that bacteria. It turns on specific genes. It works on the genetic levels in your microbiome, your brain, and your own cells. And by activating and turning on these genes that are responsible for healthy metabolism, responsible for healthy removal of the garbage, responsible for producing neurotransmitters to make you happy, these genes all of a sudden, boom, 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 start opening up. You see? And as a result, you feel better. You have beautiful bowel movements, healthy bowel movements. As you're having healthy bowel movements, your body, your bowel starts producing a lot of serotonin. As you're producing serotonin, you feel happy and good, motivated to go and get up and walk around. You see, it's a beautiful symphony that gets triggered by food, not by drug. And don't get me wrong, there is a place for drugs. I'm a medical doctor. Do I have patients on GLP activators? Yes, I do. Sometimes you have to start with them on it.
You're talking about agonist, right?
Agonists,
GLP
yes.
agonist, yeah.
And they come to me already on it. And I never stop immediately, abruptly. No drugs, including GLP agonists. There is a place for that. If someone is morbidly obese and about to have a heart attack, you need to get quick results, yes. But it's only for a short period of time, like a rescue, and not for everyone. Majority of us, healthy people, do not need that.
Give me the definition of being morbidly obese for, just general population. So what does it mean?
So morbidly obese, meaning that it's not really how many pounds you weigh. You could weigh 200 pounds, you could weigh 400 pounds, but how much it is affecting your physical body, how much is affecting your skeletal muscle muscular system, if it's already giving you problems with mobility, if it is affecting your heart, if you have visceral fat around your heart, if it is creating plaques in the walls in the lumen of the coronary arteries, if it's creating the same thing in your brain, if it's creating the same thing in your liver, if it's bringing your blood pressure up. So having all these markers, we say morbidly obese, severely morbidly obese, or just obese. So it's not really the pounds.
That's a great education, Shahnoz, because a lot of people really don't understand that and just jumping on all those drugs without, understanding what does it mean to be obese. So, I mean, for instance, I mean, if you're overweight, it doesn't mean that you are morbidly obese, so you don't need this drug. And again, I mean, what you just uncovered is very powerful. And it's time, I think, for us to bring to this conversation this amazing system that we called mind-body GLP-1 system. And it's not a medication, it's not a GLP-1 agonist. The system helps your body to reactivate your own GLP-1 production. Okay. And you get all the benefits. Okay. You're not just controlling your cravings, you're not overeating, you feel satisfied, you also heal your gut. So there are two parts of the system, and Shahnoz, maybe you can show it to us because I just got completely out of my green box. I have this. So this is MB Enhanced, but we also have MB Core. So it's a green bottle. So, and yeah, it's right there. It's a green bottle. So the first one is MB Core, that's what Shahnoz is showing to us. So it's made with all natural ingredients that support your own ability to make more GLP-1. And it also helps you slow down, how fast your GLP-1 breaks down in your body. So you can stay full longer, you can burn fat, you can control your cravings. And the second component of the system, it's called MB Enhance. So it's a powder. You mix this with water, and each scoop gives you 13 grams of fiber. Okay, that's what we need for the daily dosage. So it's all good stuff. It also have probiotics, so it gives you all the good bacteria. Okay, so and when you eat a lot of fiber before your meal, you actually decrease the absorption of fat and sugar, from your meals, right? So when you give your gut the food it needs, it starts to work properly. So, and all this good bacteria create all these healthy compounds that actually help you boost your own GLP-1 production in your body. Okay. And again, I mean, the probiotics supports your gut health. It has also key vitamins and plant nutrients, helping with your digestion, and it helps to balance your blood sugar. As a health coach, I always teach people how to regulate your blood sugar, and I teach how you need to eat fiber before your meals, right? So you do not get sugar and glucose absorption into your blood right away. So when these two products, the MB Core and MB Enhanced, they put together, so it helps your body to feel full. It helps you to burn fat, and it stops all your cravings. Okay. And you don't have all the side effects that you have on GLP-1 agonists. And we also see a lot of benefits, including blood test improvements, right? So with these products. So now I have a question to you, Shahnoz, again. So what are the blood work improvements you see in your patients when you give them this product?
So before we continue, I also like always adding Protandim to the same mix together. Doing it together, it works like a really good synergistic silver bullet. It really works.
Yes, and we're going to cover just a little bit after this. Yeah, but yeah, this is an amazing combination.
And, with this combination, the results we see, first of all, physical results.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Blood test results, I usually compare every 2 to 3 months. I don't do it earlier than 2 months with any blood results. But before that, people report major anti-inflammatory reactions. For example, if someone had arthritis pain, within 2 to 3 weeks of using the products, they start noticing less pain. If someone has acne, within 2 to 3 weeks, it gets better. I have a patient who has severe idiopathic, because we don't know, we kind of know, but that's the medical term, idiopathic erythema bullosa, which creates a lot of inflammation and very inflamed skin with pustules and bubbles, like almost like you had second degree burn, and then skin starts sloughing off. And I had similar situation, and like long time ago. It's all inflammation, it's all cortisol release, and so forth. It's a very, very difficult vicious cycle to break. That patient started showing results finally, and she went through so many other treatments. She started showing results on month 2. Small incremental results, but yes. And we're talking this as a very serious condition, autoimmune condition, that if you really read literature about how to handle it, a patient has to be on steroidal hormones to keep it under control. So on the physical level, on the blood level, since it has anti-inflammatory properties, since it has antioxidative properties, removes the oxidative stress, and thus keeps the healthy wall cells intact. All the oxidative stress inflammatory markers like hemoglobin A1C, sugar levels, these markers, cholesterol, they start to change. Okay? And then the time varies because it all depends on how much of oxidative stress that person collected in their cells. You see what I mean? So if you had this condition for many years and you have a very, very severe oxidation happening in your cells, it probably will take a longer time compared to someone who is already taking vitamins, already on the regimen, already doing it, but still has some slight inflammation. So that person will receive results within 2 weeks. The other one probably will take a month or 2. But on month 2, we see the results for inflammation max. Then with the blood test for, let's say, hormones, the hormone regulation and sensitivity, we also see within 4 to 6 weeks. 4 to 6 weeks, clinical results most of the time. If the girl has PCOS, if she has irregular periods, she starts reporting that now finally she got her period within 6 weeks. So yeah.
It's amazing. And what I'm hearing from you, so basically it's the whole body reset. It's a metabolic reset, right? And as we all know, 90% of Americans, even more these days, have metabolic dysfunction, right? So that's pretty much almost everyone. And when we know what to do, how to fix our metabolism, so we can start healing our body, because metabolic dysfunction is basically it's a precursor to any disease, any disease. So this system helps you to reset your body on the metabolic level. And that's where you start to experience the fat loss, because fat comes off as a result, as a side effect of healing your body, right? So this is impossible to do when your body is inflamed, when you have cellular inflammation. So what's going to happen when someone, starts this product? Can you just, walk us, through the process?
So first of all, one first thing you start noticing is bowel movements. Okay. Not only amounts of bowel movements, which a lot of times people start noticing. If you're someone who is usually constipated, you probably will notice that you become more regular. But it also, you will start noticing the shape of the stool, which is one of the best indicators what is happening with your microbiome. Okay. Having a stool formed, it's a very important indicator. So that's what you start noticing. Bloating goes away within probably a week. Initially, in the first week, people start noticing more bloating because there is a battle starts between good bacteria and bad bacteria. And people may feel some bloating initially. Sometimes maybe a little bit of cramping because, again, for the same reason, but it quickly goes away. And it also depends how much you take. Some people can handle only 1 scoop. Some people can handle 4 scoops. So you play with that in the first week or two until your body gets used to it. The next thing, if you had, let's say, you have a lot of inflammation, and as you and I, we know when we do our yoga retreats, we could tell who has inflammation. The person cannot sit in the easy pose, and the knees are hurting and all that. That's inflammation. If they can't stretch their legs, that's also inflammation, right? So you're going to start noticing that you have less and less of that type of inflammation during your movements. You'll start noticing the muscle recovery and body recovery after exercises. You'll start noticing that you don't want to eat. That's actually the most common, not complaint, but comment I get from my patients. And energy, of course, you start feeling energized. And the most common, by the way, side effects on the peptides, on agonists, when I put you on, if someone is on, Ozempic or Mounjaro, fatigue is the most common one. They're like, I feel good, but I feel so tired. Well, this one is opposite. You feel good. You don't feel tired. You may not see pounds shedding as quick as you do see on Ozempic, but eventually you do see that as well. So that's what I noticed.
And I just want to add to that. So there is a clinical study that shows that the fat loss is happening at up to 27%. Fat loss, we're not talking about muscle loss. We're not talking about the bone density. So fat loss, right? 27%. So that's
Some of the
incredible.
studies are actually showing 42%.
42%. Yeah. I personally started to take this product in December. A lot of cortisol for me this year, right? We're entrepreneurs, so yeah, it happens. I mean, I'm in perimenopause and stress, right? Cortisol, my adrenal shutdown. I mean, she's my doctor, she knows. So, and then we put me on this product, like down 3 months, almost 2 sizes. And it's not about, I train in a gym. I go and I do training. So I actually grow my muscle mass. I grow my muscle mass. So my weight is not a determinant factor because it's basically, for me, it's more measurements. It's measurements. And also I know that my body, like for instance, when I eat certain type of food so I can retain water. So for those of you who do not see right away the results on a scale, that's more about the measurements. So anything else that you see that your patient experience in terms of how we can measure the outcome of taking this system? So we talked about the hormone, the metabolic panel. You also talked about the hormone panel, right? So that's getting improved. We're talking about the measurements. What else? Anything else?
What else? So besides that, I always encourage to take collagen, not necessarily collagen, but collagen activators. Okay. Again, the whole system is not about providing collagen, providing peptides, providing this and that. The whole system is about activating those genes so your body could make it. It's a
Yeah.
big difference, huge
Yeah.
difference. And when we say collagen, we immediately think about our skin, which is true, but the whole body is a collagen. The whole body has collagen in your bones, in your muscle, in your skin, in your organs. So when you lose collagen in your skin, the same thing happens with your internal organs. By bringing collagen production in your skin and in your organs, you're rejuvenating them. So they feel good because the organs get rejuvenated. And guess what? The skin, the color, the texture, the look changes as well. Okay? Skin becomes more glowing, more beautiful, smoother, especially if you have any imperfections like inflammation, rosacea, acne, any capillaries due to inflammation, they start to go down. You see? So it's an amazing thing. Recently, they had a meeting, all these doctors and researchers who are researching and working, like people like us, professionals who are working with this particular product, showing the research on the latest products that we have today on the market within this realm, what we have now, they also showing cognitive change. And the reason behind that is, again, because you are triggering, you're giving prebiotics to a bacteria that sits in your gut, and you're reinforcing this communication between gut and your
Gut-brain
brain.
connection, right? Yeah.
You reinforcing it, you feeding it, and you promoting it. And as a result, it's helping you with cognitive, not only like if you have dementia or something, you just become clear, you become happier, you become more functional, you become more active. And there was one studies that showed one, for now it's an anecdotal case where the kid had learning problems at home, at school, and his handwriting, they just took the handwriting and then they gave him the supplement. And then after the supplement, 2 weeks later, they compared his handwriting. His
Mm.
handwriting changed.
Amazing.
It's amazing. And of course, and behavior as well.
Yeah.
And the kid, poor kid said, it's almost like I had glasses that were fogged, and then someone removed glasses from my eyes. I see things better. Isn't that amazing?
It
A
is
little,
amazing. It is
yes,
amazing. Yeah.
10-year-old kid can say that.
Wow. Well, let's continue now into the next section, right? Let's talk about the energy switch, the oxidative stress. And this is where the conversation goes into the NRF2 pathway. Okay. So, by the way, speaking of energy, people with cellular inflammation, as we know, they're always stuck in a sugar burning mode, because what happens is that their body just burns sugar all the time, right? So they burn it for fuel, not the fat. They burn sugar. So and then it's a roller coaster, because when sugar runs out, they crash, and then the craving kicks in, right? So and then they snack again all the time. So do you know those people? I meet them every single day, right? In my practice, I mean, they're snacking all the time, all the time, all the time. So they can't do intermittent fasting because they're always have this craving feeling. So, and that actually leads to this blood sugar roller coaster, because you go through the glucose spike, and then you crash, and then you crave, and then you basically, it's a constant roller coaster. But our body designed to be metabolically flexible. What does it mean? So you should be able to switch between burning carbs and burning fat for energy, right? So when that switch is broken, your body lose this ability to get stored fat for fuel, and then why you start getting the weight gain, or you start having the weight loss resistance, and you also don't have energy. So the good news here is that this GLP-1 reactivates that metabolic switch, okay? So that your body ready to tap into this fat storage, okay? So again, the mind-body GLP-1 system support this process. So it regulates blood sugar, reduce cravings, healing gut inflammation, cellular inflammation. So, and then you start burning fat efficiently. And then you access fat for burning. So it's all the good things. So now let's talk basically about this activator. So this is like energy activator. Okay, so the energy activator. So let's talk about the NRF2 pathway. So can you tell us what is NRF2 pathway? Why this pathway is very important for our body functioning processes, and how it benefits us if we know how to operate this very powerful switch?
Well, before I start talking about NRF2, I'm going to have to give you a little overview of the cell. Okay. In the cell, we have this center, command center, where all the information stored. And that is your nucleus.
Mhm.
And in the nucleus, you have that storage place called DNA. DNA is carrying the information not only about your beautiful blue eyes and blonde hair and your body composition. It also carries your tendencies. It also carries your abilities to digest not only food, but certain information. So there's so much in that information, so much information packed in that little tiny DNA. As we age with toxins, some toxins and viruses and parasites, they get into that area and they destroy our DNA. Okay? They rearrange certain amino acids. They shorten the chromosomes. We call them telomeres. And the short telomeres are the sign of aging. You see? So, knowing all of that, is there anything that prevents that? Yes, there are pathways. And we have these pathways and signaling systems, thousands, maybe billions of them in our body that are responsible to go back and repair. It's almost like you have a bridges, you have places, roads, but you always have teams that constantly go back and repair. Okay? We have that in our system, in our body. As we grow older, we have less and less of those teams, less and less of those maintenance companies and management companies. That's what NRF2, 1, and 2, all of them basically represent. They able to get in the system, get in the cell, get in the nucleus, and be able to recognize the damage and rearrange and put it back to normal how it was. Now, little example. For example, if you had COVID, whether it was a vaccine, whether it was just a COVID virus, viruses work at the level of DNA. They go and rearrange. They hijack host DNA and produce what they need to produce. That's how they live. So NRF2 goes back and repairs it. So if someone has long COVID, signs of long COVID, it's the sign that that virus moved into your nucleus and now trying to get its own zip code. NRF2 will go, evict that virus, repair the DNA, and your body knows how to get rid of that. That's the simple explanation of NRF2 pathways. Another, not way, but another function of NRF2 is to bring energy, to carry energy into the cell in the form of NAD, ATP, GTP. So it's a carrier system as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So support mitochondria, for example. Mitochondria is a little batteries that we need. If we don't have them, we're not going to be able to run. Our cells not going to be able to survive. And it's actually an organism. Mitochondria, it's an autonomic organism. It used to be, many, many millions of years ago, used to be a bacteria. So bacteria, small bacteria, was engulfed by big bacteria or big cell. And then instead of dying and being digested inside, because it's so perfect, it has its own DNA, it has its own powering system, it's not only survived, but it creates symbiosis with the cell. Now all the mammals have, not only mammals, all the cells have mitochondria and use it as a survival. That's the story of mitochondria. Now, mitochondria always needs material to create energy. And one of the materials is sugar. But mitochondria needs only this much of a sugar. When body exposed to a high amount of glucose, when I say sugar, it doesn't mean that sugary things. I'm talking about carbohydrates. I'm talking about breads. I'm talking about even oatmeal. Yeah. You see, it's also from category of sugar. If you have too much of that and it's not being processed properly, then that particular substance becomes toxic to your mitochondria. And once mitochondria starts to die off, guess what? This is when degenerative diseases start. Multiple sclerosis, autoimmune diseases, they all depend on mitochondria. Mm-hmm. So again, NRF2 supports that. NRF2 regenerates the function of mitochondria, brings it back to life.
So it's basically, we can call it your clean up garbage crew that takes garbage bags.
and repair. I would
Repair and repair.
say maintenance.
A maintenance screw. Yeah, yeah, that's a good way of putting that. Yeah. But it also increases glutathione production, right? And glutathione is the most important molecule, right, in the body.
So
So,
what it does, it actually creates, it actually also affects, it's a multifactorial, it affects your microbiome.
mhm.
And you do have, we all have these bacteria sitting in our gut. And by stimulating that good bacteria starts to produce NAD, and NAD starts to promote glutathione.
Mhm.
So glutathione and NAD, they work together.
Yeah, yeah. And there are a lot of enzymes, right, in our body that use glutathione to get rid of all this bad stuff and toxins in our body, right? Reduces inflammation. It helps cell detoxify. It helps cell to repair itself, right? It's just mind blowing when you start talking about NRF2, and there are so many studies about NRF2. And we know like that this is a fantastic product that can really, and this is the protandum, right? So protandum NRF2, right? That in a combination, as Shahnoz just show us, that creates this multiple effects for your body, right? So you can start preventing. So it's a preventative. You can start preventing diseases, right? Because you reduce the oxidative stress, you slow down your aging process, you go through the cellular repair, okay, because this antioxidants enzymes decrease.
And
So,
you promote garbage removal. So
and the
glutathione
garbage
is
removal.
a huge garbage truck.
Mhm.
And you are promoting the stimulation of your production in your gut and in your liver. This is where we produce our glutathione. So you produce stimulation and synthesis of your own glutathione.
Mhm.
Nothing is wrong with taking glutathione from outside. Some people need extra, but you also have that mechanism to create that. So if it's building your garbage truck, in the same time bringing the fuel, which is NAD, for the garbage truck. So it's building the garbage truck and the fuel all together, whole package, and bringing it into your cell and go, here we go, let's go,
Yeah.
fix this.
Mhm.
That's what NRF2 do.
And I just want to emphasize that this product is activation product. Just again, this is the whole discussion is about activation. So we activate our own production of GLP-1, or activate our own production of glutathione, right? So this is why this is so powerful. This is basically the essence of nutrigenomics, right? And how we turn good genes on and bad genes off. So again, I mean, you decrease your cellular inflammation, you improve your sleep, you improve your recovery, you improve your brain. We talked about the gut-brain connection, right? So again, there are so many benefits for your brain, for your heart, for your cells. And again, I mean, this powerful combination, right? So, the whole system, it's together. It works very powerfully. This is GLP-1 and protandum NRF2 product. As Shahnoz shared with us, it also upregulates your hormones, right? We talked about blood sugar, we talked about hunger, fat burning. Amazing, amazing products, and we see amazing results. So, and in the beginning of conversation, we talked about the results that we see with this, MB system. So again, I mean, like all the metabolic blood tests are, getting normalized. You lose fat, you stop your food cravings, you decrease your cellular inflammation, so you slow down your aging process, right? So I mean, isn't it amazing just to have this available to us? And this is something, again, this is no side effects, and you get all the benefits, right? Anything
One,
else?
yes, I wanted to add on one byproduct of what happens with NRF2 when it goes and repairs your DNA and cleanses your system. It removes that stress from the body.
Mhm.
If you don't have that, if your body has stress collection, the oxidative stress in your system, one of the rescue hormones that your body starts to produce because it needs to rescue is cortisol.
Mhm.
So everybody has a bad name to cortisol, thinking that it's a bad thing. It's actually a rescue hormone. When
Mhm.
you start producing on the regular basis, this is when it becomes bad. So indirectly, NRF2 does not trigger or suppresses or keeps the cortisol at bay. And as a result, you were just talking about sleep. Sleep improves.
Mhm.
See,
Yeah.
besides the fact that it produces butyrates and produces other neurotransmitters to calm down the system and keep the parasympathetic all stimulated and parasympathetic, all at bay. Besides that, it also keeps cortisol saying, "I got it. You don't have to come. I'll clean it myself."
Mhm. And I just want to add here that before you take this product, I highly suggest you go to your doctor and do the metabolic panel. Do the metabolic panel so you can track your body before you're taking the product, and then in 3 months or 4 months after, taking this product. So you can see the true metabolic reset. Okay. And again, I mean, for some people, we also talk about pounds being lost, for some people inches being lost, but it's definitely your visceral fat. You're normalizing your metabolic markers, right? Because again, the health starts at the metabolic level. So, yeah, what we're going to do here, we're going to add the links to the product here below this video, right? So, and there is also case study. So you'll see like a true cases, our clients who've been through this journey. So they're amazing stories. This product is truly revolutionary. We all, I mean, us, we're taking this product, right? I mean, Protandim and, GLP. And I'll tell you more when you subscribe for at least 3 months, because you need to be on a product for at least 3 months to see the results. And you get 10% discount. So with a subscription, you don't need to think about, I mean, where to order. You can order through us directly, but if you just put yourself on a subscription, so you save more money, okay? And you also receive rewards with your purchase, just in the system, okay? So, and the price for one-time purchase is $20 more. If you rather when you do it with a subscription. Okay, so remember that your own GLP-1 production will increase 140% on average. Okay, that's what says in the clinical trial, and there is an independent third-party clinical trial. I just wanted to tell you that drink plenty of water. Okay, when you take those products, eat enough protein. So its recommendation is 1 gram per pound. Of course, eat healthy, nutrient-dense foods. Have enough fiber. That bottle will give you enough fiber, but still, like just eat healthy. But what's incredible also, Shahnoz, I wanted just to share by working with our clients is that once they get on this product, they start to eat healthy. This is how the mind starts, to be aware,
You know why also? It's
right?
also because of microbiome. I love microbiome. It's everything. I always say we only have 25,000 genes in our body,
Mm-hmm.
humans,
Yeah.
but we have more than 2.5 million microbiome genomics
Mm-hmm.
in our system. We outnumbered. So they rule our cravings. So when you crave for sugar, it's not really you who are craving for sugar, it's them. And when you're craving for healthy food, it's the same thing. So this product also helps you to shift this microbiome into a healthy population that will crave only healthy foods.
Yes. Yes. All right, guys. So if you resonate with everything that we talked about, I think this is amazing, powerful information. So get yourself a product, click on the link below. If you have any questions, text us. Okay, just text us back, and our team will send us, your request, and we will respond back to you. Our team will respond back to you. Okay. So again, thanks for being with us today, for trusting us with your time, and we cannot wait to hear your stories with this amazing product.
Thank you,
Bye
thank
for
you,
now.
thank you. Bye.
Bye.